What is exception handling? Exception handling is what? When we have any runtime error. So that is known as exception. Like that error can be occurred at runtime. Remember that error can be. We are not sure that this error will definitely occur, or this error may be occurred, or this error may not be occurred. Okay, but we'll have a still we can say that we still have a possibility that error can be. Okay, error can be in the code. So whatever code we'll have there, we might we can have an. So what type of error? So we'll have basically error of like if we are going to divide any number by zero. So output is infinite. So infinite cannot be written anywhere. So that is known as exception. Okay, so that is a exception. Can divide by zero. Okay, cannot divide by zero. This exception. Now, if we have our input, so for example, we'll have an input as an integer a, and we'll just go with scanner dot next int. Right. Then what happens? In that case, this is what? If we are going to input our character, like for that we are going to input z. So that can be also an exception. So ideally, exception is of two types. First is checked, and second is unchecked. So what are those? First of all, we'll understand what is exception. So let me open Eclipse. Okay, now I'm just going to create a new class to test exceptions. And let me create a package test exception. Okay, this package can be com.java.test exception. All right, and the class name can be exception test. So what I'll do, I'll just create a main. Now in main, we'll have an integer once again, a comma b comma c. So like these are integer which we declare. There, I'll just go for the user input. So for that purpose, we'll go with the scanner equals to new scan and system. All right. Now we'll have a equals to scanner dot next. Then we'll have b equals to scanner dot next. Now we'll go with c equals to a divided by b. There we are going to divide that. Let me print c. And now we need to prompt a message sys out, enter the value of a and b. Now let me do this. Right click, run as Java. Okay, so it is asking the input. So what I'll do, I'll just provide an input that is 10 and 2. We got the output 5. But if I'll go with 10 and 0, so that is an exception, arithmetic exception, divide by 0. So now we need to handle that exception. So if exception occurs, so how you are going to handle? Now, to handle exception, we need a block. What is that block? That block is try with catch. Now, what is try block and what is catch block? Catch block is a block where exception will be catch if there is an exception. For example, in this code, where is exception? Exception isn't this line. So if we'll have an exception, that will be catch. Okay. Now, what is try? Try is the block where we are going to write where exception might occur. Okay. So if we'll have c equals to a divided by b. In this line, might be we'll have an exception. So yes, we are going to write this line inside that line. And along with that, exception is what? Exception is a class. Okay. And multiple classes are extending those exceptions, this exception. So yes, we can call that exception. So how we'll do that? So right now, see, ideally, just remember one thing. Where we are going to put this, like whatever we are going to put inside the try block. that will be like handled. Okay, if we are not going to put it inside that try, that will not be. How? We'll just check. Now, I'll just go with try. And once your try is ended, then you require catch block, either catch or finally. But why we are not suggesting finally? Because finally is always executing. How it works, we'll see. Now we'll have catch and see. This is the definition of catch. There, whatever you are going to print by default, see, it is accepting exception. You can write arithmetic exception if you want. Now there, I'm displaying a message. Do not enter zero. Right. So that if we are going to input zero, then it prompts a message, do not input zero in case of infinite number. Now let me run this. And if I'll go with 10 and 0, so we got do not enter 0. It means this exception is catch is the block which is showing the exception. Now, I mean, that block is executed when we'll have exception. Otherwise, try block will exist. So if code is fine, then it will not jump to catch. For example, if input is 12 and 2, so output is 6. But in case if you are going to put 0 here, that will prompt you an exception. This is the first part. Now, what is the second part? In second section, what we'll have, as I tell you that try is the block, whatever you are going to put and where you think that error can be come, that section will be inside the try. Error may come. May come. So in this line might be there is a, what is that? Let me know this. We have a user. User enter 12 and then user enter t. Now t is not an integer. So how we'll handle that? Now you can see again we'll got the exception. What is that exception? Input mismatch. So if we are getting error in this line, P might be user can input different for A as well. So it means this should also come under the try. Now, if this exception can also be handled. Now we are getting the same message. 2 and T do not enter 0. But ideally, we can prompt a message. Please do proper input. Please do proper input. This is the first one. Now, see that try and catch have the like multiple sections. What we can have for one try, we can have multiple catch. Okay, like we can have catch block second. Okay, we can have catch block third one second, catch block third like this. How? For example, if I provide there, what exception ideally we are getting? Let me just check. Plus E will tell us the type of exception. Now let me run this code. If I'll go with 10 and 0, so we are getting this exception, arithmetic exception. So if you want to handle any this specific exception, so what do you need to do? You just need to open arithmetic exception. Now that will only handle arithmetic. That will not going to handle the input mismatch exception. Just see now. Now if I'll go with 10 and 0, so that is that it is handled. Okay, because we are not getting any long read messages. But if I'll go with 12 and R, so now we are getting this. That exception is not happening. So what we can do? We can create another catch block. And there we can go with input mismatch exception. Because in that we are getting input mismatch exception. Okay. And there we can prompt a message. Please do not enter 0. So if user will enter 0, so that 0 in denominator, so that block will come. If user will input any character, so please input integer. So integer value. Now just see the flow. We'll have 10 and 2. Perfect. Code is running smoothly. If we'll go with 10 and 0, do not enter 0. Okay, if we'll go with 12 and U, please input integer. So this is the very basic definition of exception handling, that how we can handle